Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87 and this is Let's Play of not Phoenix Wright, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney, completely different characters. No one would ever get them confused. In the last video, we were still doing this whole time travel, computer simulation stuff. I remember I said I wasn't going to play the game for a week in the last video, and it's been 5 days. Now that wasn't just because the game annoys me. That was just because I couldn't record in general. But I actually have some goodwill has been built back up towards the game. Let's see how long it lasts. Only thing I remember is that last time we were talking to this guy, and then there was that stupid prompt about how do you prove that she was involved in that she could have been injured in the shooting trick, and you present the stamp because she's standing in the middle of this commemorative photo, which obviously means she was in the middle of the shoot 'em trick, of course. And then we broke him. There's no proof, none at all. And then there was, what else was it that got, the other thing that annoyed me wasn't as bad. It was, well, it's another one of those situations where like the game's explanation isn't like bad. It's just more, there's a much more logical explanation, which is they basically ask you, right, why would Magnifi not care about potentially having his crimes revealed? You know, why would he no longer care about his role in the cover-up being revealed? And it feels like the very logical explanation is because his ass was dead. Like, why would he care? Can't prosecute a dead man. But no, it's because it was his daughter, which doesn't really answer the base question that they were asking. Yes, it answers why they would feel a sense of personal responsibility to Magnifi, but that's not what the game was asking. But, you know, whatever. But the last one went missing, and your mentor blackmailed both of his disciples. So, like, you say she went missing, so you guys didn't even think she was dead? Because I thought it was that you thought she was dead. Doesn't take a genius to put one and one together. Ours was a complex family. You mean Troop Grammary? The Master Magnifi Grammary, his only daughter, and his 2 disciples. That does sound like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? I mean, not really. My game? Do not be tempted into faulty flights of fancy. Yes, there was an accident. But that is all it was, an accident. Zack and Valance tour de force. The guns blaze, the bullets fly straight towards that beautiful body on stage. And then crash, zing, pow, into everything but her. Now that is magic. It happened one day when we were practicing, same trick with a new twist. And tragedy. But as for whose bullet stole Thalas's life, we shall never know that. But like, do you think she's dead or not? Because they made it sound like they thought she was dead, but then Phoenix just says that he knows that she just went missing. Thalassa disappeared from our lives, and Zack was bereft of his wife. Lucy lost her mother, and Magnifi his daughter. And that led to blackmail, I take it. It is all part and parcel of the darkness that comes when the curtain falls. Why did Magnifi Grammary try and cover up the accident? It was his own daughter who died. Okay, so they're saying died, but earlier he just said missing. See, this is what I mean when I say these games are fucking confusing. Because the scripts contradict themselves. All I can say is it was especially when I only play like 3 hours a week. All I can say is it was a critical time for Troop Grammary. A passing of the torch from Magnifi to Zack and Valant. They all sacrificed so that it might be a success. Thalas's death was the greatest sacrifice of all, yet, even when her life was extinguished, her presence was not. What do you mean? In time, we, myself, and Zack found we could no longer oppose Magnifi's wishes. Magnifi forced us to perform his art for his benefit. I see. I guess I can understand. I mean, he did lose his only daughter. But do you not find cowardice in his actions? Huh? To decide to hide the truth of your own daughter's death is one thing. But then to hang that death as a guillotine above our heads? I mean, yeah, it sounds kind of shitty. But like, what do you make you guys do? So far you haven't established that he really made you do anything, other than like kill him, but like, I don't know, that's just assisted suicide. I don't think there's anything, well, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's morally wrong to force someone to kill you if you know they're going to get prosecuted for it, but in general, I don't think assisted suicide is like an immoral action. Does Trucy know? She was not told, naturally. Who would want to know that their father might have taken their mother's life? True. I had not thought of that accident for a very long time. Wouldn't you be thinking about it like all the time? I feel like if I shot someone, or if I thought I shot someone, and then I was continuing to do like the stuff that they got shot in, I'd probably be thinking about it a lot. I'm sorry to dredge up old memories, but this has helped a lot. Especially since, you know, you were just involved in a trial where you were asked to kill your master whose daughter you maybe killed. I feel like you'd be thinking about it a lot, actually. Not to nitpick your words, Valant, but I'm just saying. Not to find Magnifi's slayer, I should think. True. After that accident, there was one who came sniffing quite persistently. A reporter? He called himself a newsman at the time. Often I spied him lurking about the dressing room doing his research. You want to elaborate? Is this man a sex criminal? Because that sounds like a sex crime. Would you happen to remember his name? What was his name? Sorry, I have forgotten. But in the course of his interviewing, he became quite close to my partner, Zack. I liked him not? I see. His name I do not recall, but his scent, the cloying aroma of mint. Yes, whenever he smiled, which was far too often. I do not like happiness. I am a magician. I only want to make people sad. I see, thanks to your help. They asked me to shoot a fireball and then I can do naught. And then they are so disappointed that it makes me happy. That's no good to interview at the past, Mr. Wright. You will not uncover answers, only wounds. Yeah, that sounds about right. Sounds about my history with this series. I'm sorry. I'd begun to notice a dark curtain hanging over Troop Grammary, and I began to realize what I had to do. I had to protect Trucy from that darkness. The reporter he mentioned, the newsman, I never learned who that was at the time, though I've got a pretty good idea who it is now. That smile and the sickly sweet smell of mint. The last floss, thin thread connecting Zack Grammary to this world. Sooner or later, I'd have to track him down. Okay, so we're done with the past. We have to go back to the not future. Which one do we want to start with? Drew Studio or Sunshine Coliseum? I don't remember what was here. I know this is the Super Lock guy, so that's probably gonna be the last thing we do. I don't remember what we needed for this guy at all. But we didn't get any new evidence there, so whatever we need is going to be in one of these two. I guess we'll just kind of go in relative order.
Yeah, what do we have here?
Remember me?
Of course I remember you. Journalist meets ex-attorney in bar. End quote.
Can I ask what you're doing here? Mr. Mission was poisoned and his daughter's... Oh, yes, I know. Oh, how I know, yes. It's caused me no end of grief, to be honest. Journalist wishes he tracked down case just a little quicker. End quote. Were you on the trail of this case the whole time? Not really. Zach Gramery was a good friend, my only friend. Well, not really a friend, but he didn't, give me a swirly. So because of that, I owe my life to him. Zach said something to that effect back at the Borscht Bowl Club. What a character, what a man. If a little, no, a lot, no, extremely rough around the edges. Do you think I could ask you a few questions? You serious? I mean, I'm usually the interviewer, not the interviewee. Haven't you used that line before? I feel like he's used that line before. Are you reusing dialogue, sir? If so, you have to tell me. You have to give me an obnoxious flashback. But not like a useful flashback that would actually be helpful. Just like a completely and totally superfluous flashback to something we saw 14 seconds ago. Or something that we've actually already seen, we had a flashback of. Flashback to that flashback. That'd be nice. I'd really enjoy that. Journalists ask questions, not other way around. End quote. I mean, I'm not necessarily against flashbacks in principle, but they are so horribly used in this series. I feel like maybe 1 out of 10 actually have like a purpose. Fine, shoot. I don't care. People have been asking me all sorts of things lately. Have you ever seen a real life gun? Mr. Brushel, could you take a look at this? I hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. You want me to write an article on that, right? What's the angle? Actually, no, that's okay. I don't need an article. I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on this. I hear you. I hear you. You want me to sniff around for a scoop? Well, you've come to the right nose, my friend. Because the nose knows. It's odorless. Well, no, it probably smells musty because it's old. Thanks. I don't know, I feel like you wouldn't really say anything about any of this. Maybe the stamp? You know anything about this? Give it a lick for me. If you could be so kind to just take a little lick. I can't look at the back. There's probably enough poison to at least make him sick, right? It was tragic what happened to Drew Misham and his daughter. Forgery is a serious crime, and they paid the price. Brushel confirmed not based. Not based at all. If there were ever any doubts. You know what really did them in though, don't you? Yeah, a forged diary page. I mean, okay, that's bad. That is a crime. But the art forgery, that's not a crime. The night I interviewed him, I found out something about Mr. Misham I hadn't known. What's that? Now, granted, I don't really hold it against a 12-year-old for someone asking, "Hey, can you copy this?" But like make it a little different. I don't especially an extremely sheltered 12-year-old. Like I don't necessarily consider it like a crime legally or morally speaking, what Vera did. Now, the dad 100% knew that shit was going to be used in some shady fashion. Now, does he deserve to be poisoned? No. But as far as I'm concerned, Vera's still basically, like, in that case, innocent. Now, she kept doing it, which is they're not really clear on. Because, the assumption would be that they kept doing it, but they have kind of implied that they only did it the one time, but they haven't stated that. He always felt like he was being watched. Every day, for 7 years. Walls have ears, potatoes have eyes. End quote. Being watched. You mean he felt guilty? No, I'm not talking about feelings here. I felt watched too. All the hot babes eyeing me up. All the time. It gets exhausting. The whole time I've been on this case, no less. Journalist gets tingling sensation on back of neck. Freaks out. End quote. Because you felt guilty? Why would I feel guilty? Alright, I'll have you know, everything I did in that dressing room was completely consensual, at least on my end. And that's the only end that matters. You feel like you're being watched, huh? Wonder what it all means. Drew Misham felt like he was being watched. And you along with him. You sure it wasn't just nerves? Nerves? No, it's nothing so mundane. Stopped paying attention to my nerves a long time ago. But I felt it too. Journalists sure he is being watched. End quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Gramley got rubbed out after 7 years? Right after coming into contact with me? He completely vanishes from the courtroom. And for 7 years he talks to no one, not a soul. And just as the remaining time was almost up, he contacts me in order to have this made. And then he dies. Are you mocking me, Mr. Wright? Starting to put the pieces together, are we? And you were being watched this whole time? Maybe not just me, maybe you were too. Me? I met Zach through that case, actually. You mean the shooting of Magnifi Grammary? No, before that. It's not widely known. You mean the accident? During the quick draw shoot 'em practice? It's a tragedy. The quick draw shoot 'em. My, you're well informed. You should have seen me back then. I dug up quite the scoop. I wanted it all. Money, fame, women, a little puppy, all for me. I was younger then, and my days and nights smelled fresher mint than they do now. Blank Emery did mention one particularly nosy reporter. In fact, I was on close speaking terms with Magnifi Grammary at the time. I was his first choice for his daughter, you know. I knew his daughter too, of course. Thalassa, was it? She wasn't really my type, you know what I'm saying. Too uggo for the one known as Dr. Brushel. Then Thalassa disappeared, quite suddenly at that. And Magnifi wouldn't say a word about it. Yeah, my evil habit got the better of me. Journalist catches scent of a scoop, goes on feeding frenzy, end quote, conducts research in the women's dressing room, end quote. I set up a one-on-one interview with Thalassa's husband, see? Zach Grammary. Something strange was in the air over at Troop Grammary in those days. The whole screwy mentor-controlling disciple scene started by then, I'm guessing. Thalassa, she was part of it all, right? Come on, you can tell me off the record. Oh, that's not a Phoenix line. Phoenix doesn't get to talk. Sorry, I didn't know. Anyway, I kept prying and eventually became friends with Zach. Or well, you know, he stopped giving me noogies. Sure, he punched me once or twice or 5 times, but over time, he came to see me as his confidant. Once you start this social link, it's with you forever. He's been waiting this whole time, 7 years, eh? Waiting? Thor's big comeback, of course. A big revival of the Magnifi Miracle. Of course, it was all a dream. Because of this. The performance rights. In the absence of any official documents, he was golden. Who's to say the old man didn't give his rights to both Zach and Valant? So Valant waited until Zach died, legally at least. The time finally comes, and Valant's like a kid on Christmas morning. He's getting ready for a show at the Sunshine Coliseum, you know. If that document sees the legal light of day, it's gonna put a bit of a damper on the big show. He's a sorry one, that Valant Grammary. Lost out to his partner at work, and in love, too. Love? It's the same old story, really. 2 disciples, and their mentor's only daughter. What has 3 sides and all of them pointing? That's right, a love octagon, with me truly involved in the middle, and all the buxom babes vying for my attention. That is pretty classic. When you're performing troupe, that's your world. It's like family. One's with an entire high school's worth of drama, intrigue, and backstabbing. I got backstabbed in high school. That's why they had to send me to a special school, where nobody could hurt me. And in the middle of all this, Thalassa has Trucy. And then she dies. Need to find out more about this Thalassa. Yeah, she dies. But earlier you said that she disappeared. Did past Phoenix know something present Phoenix doesn't know? Because I mean, like, he's right. We know that she's not dead. Like, not officially, just by, you know, media literacy. What do you want? Why are you not done? Go away. Be gone. I don't know, you know anything about this nail polish? Okay, maybe I can show him the envelope. You know anything about this bad boy? Okay. What about, I don't know. You know anything about these paintings? There's 3 paintings. Oh, Drew's works, of course. Which is to say, Vera's works, really. Or to be more precise, Vera's forgeries of someone else's works. And of course, if you demand utter and total precision. And actually, there's nothing more. I was about to say. This is where Mr. Misham fell? Never thought our 7-year reunion would be quite like this. Wait, you knew Mr. Misham? I met him once, in a court. It was a brief meeting, but one I'll remember for the rest of my life. That's a story right there, that is. I smell a scoop. Ex-attorney, now down on his luck pianist, plays Sonata of Sorrow. End quote. I'm all ears. Let's have at it. Don't hold anything back. You can cry if you wanna. I will tell everyone about it, though, and it will be not in a kind fashion. Could you at least get rid of the down on his luck part? Absolutely not. You have clicked on the same thing, Phoenix, right? When will you ever learn from your mistakes? You fool. You absolute buffoon. How could you ever continue to fail like you did 7 years ago? Why are there so many jars of the same color? My guess is that they're sorted by age. Age? When you're making a forgery, it's important to match the age of the original, see? Paint compositions changed a lot over the years. Oh, right. Did you learn that in journalism school? No, it's called having an IQ above room temperature, Mr. Wright. Brushel kind of savage with it. Journalist relies on writing skill and imagination. End quote. As long as you don't do news stories by imagination. Either that, or they just brought a lot of the same color by mistake. I find myself not caring anymore. What about Pointy Man? Can we investigate Pointy Man finally? See what the hell he's pointing at? I just have to do that when I see this pose. But it's not even like, he's not even like pointing like the way you point. It's a different kind of point, because he's not like angled in the same direction that his arm's pointing. This is more like if someone asks you, you know, where did someone go? And they say, they went right. You're not like pointing like, ah, gotcha. Can't believe it's been 7 years. I have to stop torturing myself with these things. I don't know, I'll just pretend it's saying something else. The post office? Why, it's right over there. Good day, sir. This frame looks even smaller sitting next to that photo. Just the right size for a commemorative stamp indeed. A commemorative stamp put there by a daughter that killed her father. Sometimes life just sucks. Well, I mean, it's his fault for trying to eat her stamp. That's the real crime. Don't touch things that don't belong to you, or else you can legally and morally get murdered. A picture of a young Mr. Misham and a very young Vera. They're smiling. They look happy. Of course, now Mr. Misham's passed away, and Vera's on death's doorstep in the hospital. Guess I'll just do what I can and hope it's enough. She's fine. Nobody dies after the opening cutscene of a case. Probably. This envelope's from the client who requested that forgery. Just think, if that had gotten lost in the mail, I'd still be wearing my attorney's badge. drafting table, probably for making detailed designs for forgeries. You know what I think about that? I'll tell you. Painting should be done freehand, no rules, no restrictions. You really think a line drawn by a ruler is gonna move anyone? I mean, yeah. I smell a letter to the editor. Could you write an article with a ruler? End quote. Unless you wanted a ruler to write the address on your blackmail letter straight. That's what I think. You can quote me on it too. You could drop this guy on a deserted island and he wouldn't get bored. That's an odd assortment of equipment to find in a painter's studio. Of course, it makes more sense when you know they were making forgeries. Guess that's why they never took visitors here. Wouldn't really want people seeing all this. Yes, in fact, I was the first human being ever to set foot inside this studio. That's just absolutely not true. They lived here. Other than Mr. Misham, of course. What about Vera? Other than Mr. Misham and Vera, of course. And this is assuming that I'm human, of course. I'm beginning to have my doubts. I don't know what to do. Maybe we want to go to the other one and see if we get any evidence we can present to this man, because I don't think we have anything right now. Will she ever come through that door again? I wonder. Not if Apollo's on the case. Alright, get me out of here. We'll come back. Well, this is a blast from the distant past. Long time no see, Mr. Valant. 7 years has it been. Frankly, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Actually, I came because there's something I want to ask you. I've spoken to the press, I've nothing more to say. I've spoken to a lot of people myself and come to some conclusions. But then I realized I needed to hear it from you. What are the 3 wacky digits on the back of your credit card? I have walked a difficult road these past 7 years. Because you couldn't perform Magnify's repertoire? Do not be deceived. Valant's skill is the real deal. I do not require my mentor's hand-me-downs. That was my partner who slowed me on my way. Zach Gramery. His rather well-performed disappearing act 7 years ago was the end. Or so I thought. Zach Gramery murdered our mentor and fled to escape punishment for his crime. You said something to that effect 7 years ago, didn't you? I remember it as if it were only yesterday, even though I don't think about stuff from the past very often, as I said. So, well, I guess that was 7 years ago, actually, so never mind. I'm not... Shut up. I didn't have this cool stash back then. That's like the only thing that changes, right? He doesn't have a mustache in the past. I think he has like a couple more lines on his face. For while he vanished, the suspicions upon my own person never did. His partner, Zach, vanished to protect him. That's what those thieving magpies of a press said. I had no idea. Yet that very same press comes to me now, feigning interest. They cover the greatest magic show in history as if it were a vaudevillian distraction. That's why I will destroy this planet and all who reside in it by using the seed, the eggs from the foreign country that contain alien beings with immense power. Plant them in the earth and then they will grow into towering behemoths that will kill all my oppressors. And then me too, of course, as 'twas always happens to the crazy evil mastermind who relies upon monstrous beings to do his bidding. But it will be okay, because I, in that one moment, will be happy. What am I if not a player in some fiendish farce? Might I suggest it's because you never made it clear what happened? Well, that's against my contract, you see. I'm not allowed to explain shit. If I explained things in a normal fashion like a normal human being, I would be deleted from the game's data, because that is not allowed. Magnify's death is still a mystery to this day. So I came here to get the answer from you. You will never break my magic I only get 2? What? I was expecting that I'd get more than 2 magic locks. I would like to have more than 2 magic locks. May I please acquire another magic lock for protection? Audience has no business stepping upon the stage. They must be content to sit and stare at the spotlight. Sounds an awful lot like something I heard 7 years ago. Magnify's death. Ask what you will get nothing from me. I'm as much a part of this affair as you are now. I have to know what happened. For 7 long years I have endured. Now finally the curtain lifts of my new golden age. All the miracles of our troop within my grasp. Sorry to do this, Valant, but right now, I need answers. I think I'll start by dropping a bomb. That should shake things up. Valant, I wouldn't be so sure about those miracles. Not as long as I have this. Phoenix, you're gonna get murdered. And what might that be? A simple piece of paper? Unless it contains some sort of card that would summon a dark magician to defeat me, it has no value here. I see it bears the Grammary seal. I should have brought this to your attention sooner. But I didn't imagine you'd be planning your comeback quite so fast. What is this? A document showing the true recipient of the performance rights to Magnify's miracles. What? Zach Grammary, he wrote this. He passed everything to his daughter? Lucy Ignomar. Actually, she's officially my daughter these days. Preposterous. Zach is gone. Vanished into the void. Do you really think they'd give Phoenix custody? Legally speaking? I don't buy it. He's got no income whatsoever. Doesn't even really have like a permanent residence. I'm pretty sure he's just squatting in the office and nobody has decided to look. He's disgraced in his legal career. He's got like no, they usually don't even let like single parents adopt since Maya has been written out of the series, apparently. So it's just Phoenix by himself. There's no way he would get custody. Her ass would be in a foster home so fast. Like, I just assumed he kidnapped her and nobody knew. Like, legally speaking. Preposterous. Zach is gone, vanished into the void. This is the genuine article. Zach was alive when he wrote this. Both myself and the notary can testify to this. He's wagged? Bro, you lost a rabbit. Why does fate toy with me so? Why must my life be lived in thrall to the dead? You're not the only one with that problem. But he shot Magnify. Yes, it was Zach. It was. And then he left, and my career as a magician fell into darkness. Do you think there might be some way out of it? Say if you could prove Zach Grammary shot Magnify? Is that what you testified? Yes, my way out. It should have been my way out. Well, it might not be too late, Mr. Valant. All you need is a way to prove your case. Who really killed Magnify Grammary? Well, we don't have any evidence about that. Right? I don't think we know who killed him yet. Like, not definitively, at least. Unless I'm just forgetting. I don't think so. But, like, I don't know where to go. Because we haven't gotten any new evidence. Because I don't remember. What did Dude want at Borscht Bowl Club? I can't remember if it was something where I just, like, we didn't have the answer, or, like, I just thought we didn't have the answer. Because, like with the stamp thing, I thought we didn't have the answer, but no, we did. Because, like, I thought the stamp, but then I dismissed it because that shit's dumb. But then, no, that's what they wanted. Okay, power of Trucy. It's like she can see into people's minds. First time I saw her do it, it blew my mind. Okay, you have no such power, but Trucy does. Why is that? Okay, got her power from her mother. Is officially missing. And I think I know why you don't want to talk about her. We did this one, but I don't remember what it was. I mean, would we present it as like stage pistol? Because we know he was involved in the shooting? Okay, the three of you were a team once. Not that the entire country doesn't... Yeah, okay, well, I do remember this. So this wasn't the block. Because he asked that about Apollo, I remember. And we have no evidence about Apollo. I want to say. I gotta shoot my dear Thalassa. It's like another murder. To think they could read my mind was frightening. There was a warmth in them that felt like an embrace. He is dead and Magnifique Grammarly has joined her. The only one with the power left now is Trucy. Yeah, we've seen this. Yeah, because we presented Apollo, and then I don't remember what he wanted next. Okay, there's a link. But like, we don't have his ring. It's not like you have a... I mean, there's the thing on her hair. Is that supposed to be Apollo's ring? But that's clearly not a ring. And it doesn't even look like it. I mean, that seems like a kind of crazy leap for them to expect me to make, but we have nothing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do for Guy. For journalist. I've presented all the evidence there, I believe. There's no forward progress there. We can't do anything with other dude. So, I mean, I guess I'm gonna just try and present the stamp. I would be really annoyed if this is it, but... Okay. I mean, that's understandable. Because I don't think we have the evidence, but I don't know where to get it. Because, I mean, we don't... It's not like the ring is on his person or anything. Is there a ring on the gun? No. I don't know what you want from me, game. God, this is so annoying. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I guess we just need to present every piece of evidence and see if he says anything. Because we did all his talks, nothing happened. I mean, none of this really seems relevant for him. Tried that. Did we try the stamp? Yeah, we did. We tried the nail polish. I believe we tried this. 'Cause I thought that one, but that actually seems like it should have something, but... The only thing about the amazing Mr. Hat? Maybe the locket? You knew Thalassa. Okay, there we go. Do you know this person? Well, I know that person, of course. I was friends with Zach after all. He hit me a few times, 5 times actually. But still, I never forget his wife. Thalassa Gramarye. Magnify Gramarye's only daughter. Do you think you could tell me more about her? Why the hell did I have to show him the locket? He already said he knew her. In his regular dialogue. That's so unnecessary. He should have just, as soon as he mentioned that he knew her, in his normal dialogue, it should have unlocked this. I shouldn't have to present the... whatever. So Thalassa married Zach and had Trucy, see? It was her second marriage, actually. I mean, she was divorced? Okay, so this is maybe going to be our Apollo thing? Not quite. Her late husband was a performer, too. He died in an accident on stage. Tragic, really. They'd only been married 1 year. I didn't know. But she was a beauty, and I still carry a portrait photo of her around, you know. Oh, and there's the bracelet thing. Yeah, it's a bracelet that he has, not a ring. I've known Trucy since she was a little thing, too. She got the better deal, really. He's got you for family, after all. Even though you kind of are a deadbeat. Just reminiscing, you know? Thalassa has another child besides Trucy. End quote. What? But Trucy said she was an only child. Well, I mean, she wouldn't know. Ah, yes. This one she had was with her previous husband. Her previous husband? Her first husband who died on stage? Yup, they had themselves a kid. And she abandoned him. Real classy lady. Another orphan now. That's another one who slipped through the cracks. No idea where they are now. Thalassa had another child? You think I could borrow that photo? Sure, I can be generous on occasion, you know. I won't need this locket anymore. Better return it to Trucy before I forget. People and events all get tangled up together and get bigger and bigger. Don't you think? I was too busy wondering about bigger to listen to what you were saying. Sometimes you just gotta accept you won't be able to untangle it all, I think. Maybe so, but still. I have to do what I can. And I have to tell what I find to those who come next. Next, you say? I'm not the one who will close the curtain on this little play. Apparently that's not my role anymore. Apparently the kids don't like me. Apparently the streets don't back Phoenix Wright anymore. Magnify. I was wondering what Magnify would think of all this. I don't know. Wow, I'm fucking an old evil dude. All old people are evil. Wow. That's probably something like you would be saying. What do you mean? Haven't you seen it in Trucy? She's got his power. You mean how I can't lie to Trucy? It was the same with Magnify. And with his daughter, Thalassa. Strange thing. You think it's some Gramarye gene? Magnify told me once, back when Zach married Thalassa. He said Zach had good eyes, but not good like a Gramarye's eyes. Not that good. I wonder if Zach ever played a game of poker with his wife. Who knows what the Gramarye secret was? Maybe nobody, now that Zach's gone. Zach Gramarye. Okay. That's still dumb. I don't know why you have to present the locket. I feel like it doesn't, like, add anything. I mean, I get, because I don't even remember, when do you get the locket? Don't you have it by default? It's not even like you have to earn the locket, right? I can't remember. I guess that's the only reason I could think of it, is that, okay, you had to get the locket. Like, theoretically, you could not have the locket or something. I can't remember when we got which evidence. Like, I don't know if you could theoretically unlock that sequence without having the locket available. Power which passed from Magnify Gramarye to Thalassa to the next generation. And I would once again need to meet the one who bridged it all together. Okay. So now we can talk to him, present the bracelet, then come back to Sunshine. It's not tedious at all. I mean, it's okay, it's just... I don't know. I'm a little over it at this point. Maybe they could cut a few of these out or streamline them a little bit. Okay, what? Yeah, stage pistol. Yeah, stage pistol, Apollo, picture. Stage picture, Apollo, stage pistol, Apollo, picture. As I just furiously click. Alright, Apollo. Legasp, of course, the anime protagonist, is a orphan, legally not allowed to have parents. Actually, I know something. Your marriage to Thalassa was her second. How do you know this? Her first husband. He died a year after they were wed, yes? He was a performer. They met when he joined us Grammys as a guest on our show. After Thalassa wed him, she left the troupe for a while. You say she had a child then? I have a photograph over here. I couldn't help but notice what she was wearing when I first saw this. Those bracelets stand out. They are a Grammarly family heirloom. This boy wears a bracelet just like the ones in the picture. What? So that's why. Why what, Mr. Zack? I took this photograph of Thalassa before she left us. When she returned, she wore only one bracelet. I bet I know where that other one went. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna be there to, like, you know, be in your life or nothing, but hey, you have a bracelet. I mean, I assume though, well, I don't know. I mean, I thought the explanation for why Maya's mom abandoned her was fucking nonsense. And she's like a bad lady. So I'm not necessarily like sold that the explanation for why you would abandon Apollo is good, but I assume they will attempt to explain it. Now, will I buy the explanation? Maybe, maybe not. She gave it to this boy, her son. I had a joke, third lock. Haha. I mean, I guess he technically did have 3 questions, but it was just for some reason the locks broke at once, which is like, why have the second lock then? Whatever. Or the third lock. This strange power. I myself do not know where it comes from. Yet the fact is that it's passed out the Grammarly line. It runs in their veins. What is it? I asked her, Thalassa, once. This is what she told me. Shut up. Don't talk to me. You were my second choice anyway. We weren't really that close, actually. Her power responds to tension in others. Tension? If she were to face a person and they became tense even slightly, and she would know, no matter how hard they tried to hide it from her. But she could see it. Not quite. This is the strangest part of it all. She wouldn't realize that she was subconsciously detecting this tension without the use of a particular object, or in her case, objects. Objects? Wait. Were they something she wore? Yes, her bracelets. I admit, the first time I saw one of those, I felt like there was more to it than just fashion. What kind of power could a bracelet have? I have made a decision. Well, why can Trucy do it then? If they need an object. Because, I mean, I know they say Trucy's worse at it than Apollo, but, like, apparently she's still, like, kinda good. Like, enough to use it to some degree. Is she just, like, built different, or? I will tell you all I know, consider it a gift. Because I will soon be perished. I hardly need to tell me at this point, but those two. Are brother and sister, yes. And the brother, too, has this power of theirs. But Trucy has an older brother. Wonder what will come of that. Probably nothing. Tonight, after our game is done, I will return to a life of hiding. I would not see her live her life without knowing. I understand. I'll tell the two of them when the time is right. I am in your debt, once again. You do also admit that you value your freedom more than actually, like, seeing your daughter, though, right? Like, I'm just saying, if you really cared, you would go to prison, and you could at least, you know, interact with her. I'm just saying. Now, if I was in that position, would I go to prison? Nah. But I don't have a kid, so I don't know. What I want to know is how all this got to be so messed up. Those bracelets are made of a special alloy. Magic bullshit. It is said to expand and shrink very slightly in response to body warmth. So they're temperature sensitive or something? Yeah. This is how they can shrink to the exact size of their wearer's wrist. Yeah, I wasn't gonna nitpick that about how they fit, but... And this has something to do with the power? What have I told you? Like, yeah, we're gonna explain how they could both fit two different people, but, you know, at the same time, they're also magic objects. Did we really need to explain that part? I would have just rolled with it. The Gramarye power reacts to tension in others. When a Gramarye senses tension, they too become tense. And this tension translates into minute contractions of the muscles. So minute they cannot sense it on their own. Their muscles? Oh, so that's what their bracelets are for. With a bracelet on, one can sense these contractions, because the bracelet is always a perfect fit, okay? So when the person they're watching gets tense, the bracelet feels tighter on their wrist. It's also just magic. That's the real explanation. That alone doesn't really count as mind reading. I believe I understand how the process works from there. It's a simple question of eyesight. Eyesight? Guess that sounds simple enough. Have you ever heard of kinetic vision? Something about the ability to see moving objects with full clarity, right? I've heard of it before. They say athletes can see a moving ball like it was stopped if they focus. Oh, but it's not confined to sports alone. It all relies on the ability to focus. When we focus, we can see many things, such as sweat appearing and then somehow magically being sucked back up into their body by their sweat glands in a matter of seconds, because that makes fucking sense. I'm not mad. I just think it's really dumb. And whoever was behind that should be possibly tried at the Hague. I'm just saying. The faintest twitch of the face and the meaning that lies behind it. Therein lies one of the secrets of magic. One must know the mind of a crowd before one may distract it. So basically what you're saying is, the Gramaryes can see really well? For them, seeing is more than believing. It is knowing. Their power relies on eyesight combined with exceptional focus. Things are starting to come into focus for me too. Of course, it is difficult to maintain such levels of focus for any length of time. But what if someone could tell you when to focus? You had some sort of spotter. Precisely. But wait, Tracy doesn't have any bracelets. You are talking about poker, yes? The timing of when to focus is so elementary she probably does it without thinking. Okay. I mean, they explained it. I'll buy it, whatever. I'm not gonna get too hung up on the magic explanations. I don't really care. I doubt Tracy herself has realized this. That is all I know of things Gramarye. Thank you, Mr. Zach. I mean, they could have just said, I don't know, man, it's magic. They got special blood, and I would have rolled with it, but... If this boy's bracelet is the real thing, then he will use it before long, thereby awakening his power. I keep that in mind. Well, shall we play a game? I've said so much, let me say one more thing. I will tell you of that night. That night. The night my mentor, Magnifique Gramarye, passed from this world to the next. Oh, yeah, because we actually still need evidence of who killed Guy. There were 2 pistols and 2 letters sent. Because, I mean, you know, it does seem to be that it was the other guy who shot him, and he's working with Guy, dude guy, in prison? Christoph? Because, I don't know, reasons? This was Magnifique's test. A test. In his last years, Magnifique Gramarye worked us to the bone. No, to the pain. But that night I could not shoot him. So I shot the clown's forehead instead. I mean, unless you got any evidence, though, this is still just he said, she said. This is, it seems, the correct answer. Oh, maybe you have the original page? What do you sound like, man? I don't know. I can't come up with a voice for you. You probably have like 8 lines. And the video's almost over. I don't know, man.
Take this! I give my art to you, Zach!
It is I, Magnify.
It is thanks for playing along with my show! You shot well tonight, Zach. Though I would not have mind dying by your hand.
How could I shoot you? You're my mentor.
Ah! I thought you might say that!
I went home without shooting anything. What would you have done then?
I'd fucking die! I have stage 4 cancer, you idiot! And diabetes!
Of course I would have given
Valant his chance!
And if I had shot you in the forehead instead?
Well, I'd be dead, so I don't really care what happens. If you or Valant were to shoot me in the head, then I to the darkness would go, my art with me. Fitting in, don't you think? Yet this ending, too, gives me no cause for regret. I thank you, Zach. And I am sorry. I've done much that was wrong in my day.
Seems to me that Magnify wanted you to be a successor all along. That's why the time he gave you was earlier than Valant's. Perhaps, but it was not something we will ever know for sure now. I wonder, what is Valant up to these days? Waiting for you to die? 7 years pass like this, the performance rights go to him. Ah. Now here I am, and his dream is ended. Worse than that, actually. Public opinion's a fickle thing, you know? What? You don't mean to tell me they've put the blame on our mentor's death on him? The trial ended when you vanished, Mr. Zach. There were even rumors that Valant had helped you pull it off. That's madness! Well, seems that before I can once again disappear from this world, I have one more act to perform. Isn't it odd that sorting out my life should prove so complicated, even though I'm dead? Okay. That night, Zach Grammarly was killed. He died as Shoddy Smith, a mysterious traveler with a secret past. But he left one thing behind him before he parted. This. Oh. His confession, to use as I saw fit. Of course, he'd killed no one. This was his way of tying up loose ends with his old partner, Valant Grammarly. Yeah, okay. Because, I mean, I guess even, well... So if we assume Valant did shoot him, like he didn't figure out the trick and he blasted dude in the head, it still means he tried to frame Zach, which is like kind of shitty. Like bare minimum. And then plus there's the possible, I mean, you have to assume he coordinated with Kristoff because there's no, I mean, there's no reason for Kristoff to have entered into the case if not for that. Unless, I mean, the only other explanation is that he just really wanted his brother to win the trial, which, I don't know, seems a little weak. I mean, granted, I don't really prefer either explanation. That for some reason he got hired out by Valant to assure the trial's a win. That seems a little weird. But at the same time, him being like, oh no, my brother might lose a case to like a legal legend. Like, I don't really know, like as far as you know, there's no reason for Kristoff to personally want to see Phoenix taken down. So it just seems weird that he's like, would be involved in the case at all. But we will go ahead and save here. In next video, we'll wrap up the computer stuff and move back to the present day. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.